Hello and welcome to Management Projects. This is the launch campaign and the first part in coursework 1.2. In this session we will go over what you need to do for a successful launch campaign, understand the different steps, and create a launch campaign for your project. What is the main objective of your launch campaign? To communicate the positioning statement that you did in coursework 1.1 to your target market. You must attract that target market to come to your resort. How do you make them aware? This will be for the first few months of operation and of course for the grand opening. With your project, you have created a new brand. The third objective of the launch campaign is starting to create this brand awareness with the logo, the motto, the tagline, whatever you are representing. It's a place to showcase your name and let people know that you are in business. The objective, however, is not just to create a grand opening party. It could be a part of your launch campaign, but it is not the main part of it. If you are planning to invite special stars, do not forget that they are very expensive. So again, as a reminder, you are communicating your position, you're creating awareness, you're creating demand, and you're also creating brand awareness. The famous P's that were covered in any marketing course. Now, the product is what we created in coursework 1.1. The launch campaign will include the other 3 P's. The place for where I sell my product, the price, the room rate, and all the different types of packages, and the promotion of how I do this, how I communicate it. Go back to your positioning statement. See if you can answer these 4 questions. Does it offer a benefit that my target audience really wants? Is it an honest-to-goodness benefit? Does it truly separate me from the competition? Is it unique and or difficult to copy? In the report, you need to communicate how you're going to be doing this. So your launch campaign strategy is all about how you are communicating your product in the months leading up to the opening. To develop effective communication, and this is your promotion, remember that we have to explain the aim of the objectives. One main aim, for example, like attract X number of people to come and stay with you during the first 6 months of operation, and then 4 more specific objectives. It could be like 70% of a particular target market, for example, host 50 journalists on the opening day. You break down your activities in your launch campaign by target market, by audience. Then you design the message, but it's one message only. A paragraph that explains the message. An image, of course, is a plus. The promotional tools or the communication channels are advertising. We'll see about those in just a second. A very important part is to communicate your objective. Once the target audience has been defined, the marketing communicator must decide what response is sought. First of all, we start off with awareness. Creating awareness that your project is going to open. Secondly, we need to create interest or knowledge. People now have to understand what it's all about. What are you going to be launching? What is your resort or venue or project that you want to open? The third part is the desire, making people want to be a part of that. Maybe making people want to go and have a vacation in your resort or organizing an event in your venue. This is creating the desire. The last part is the action or the call to action. It's when people book. So of course all this leads up to the booking phase, and it's very important to remember this. So when you're using the IDA model I've seen in the previous slide, don't forget who your target audience is and make everything that you do
looking forward and basing it on your target audience.
Design the message. What are you saying? For example, here, there's no plane. The message of the airline is, if you travel with us in business class, you'll feel like you've already arrived at this beautiful poolside destination.
So, ideally, the message should get the attention, hold the interest, arouse the desire, and obtain action, the AIDA model. So the communicator has to figure out an appeal that would produce a desired response and best shows your positioning. In what order to present the arguments? Do you start with strong arguments first or last? The communicator also needs a strong format for the message. Headline copy, illustration, colored print, some effective words, maybe some sounds of voice, images. If you're not going to work in marketing, you need this information to brief your hotel marketing agency.
And here are some examples. You can look at them in more detail on the slides. Look at all these different ways in which you can communicate.
Now here are some of the ways in which we can communicate these channels. TV advertising can be very expensive, and it is usually for large brands and groups. Printed media, radio for a more local market. Billboards are great for walk-in customers. Advertising is expensive, and there is an oversupply of advertising, so you have to be careful. What about search engine marketing? Being the one that is on top when you look for the beach resort in your location. Public relations is also maybe an important way of distributing your product. Advertisement, remember, is paid and you control the message. PR is what the company does, and we invite people, for example, and then it comes out as word of mouth, newspaper reviews and everything, but it's not so controlled. So here are some examples that you could do as public relations.
E-marketing, well, of course, having a website at least a year before opening. Viral marketing, using something funny, or even social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Now, be careful with social media. You have to get people to know you so they can even go to the social media before you promote yourself, or you do social media marketing, and that's a little bit different. Sales promotions, maybe a soft opening with a discounted rate, a grand opening later, maybe 6 to 12 months opening rate for the first year, things like that. Maybe direct email, brochures, newsletters, apps, flyers, and all the new things coming about.
And a traditional way that hotels and event companies have been selling their project has been through personal selling, by going to the places and talking hand in hand with potential customers, either door to door or maybe participating in trade shows.
Now we get into distribution, or the P for place. How will you sell your rooms? Some of the ideas. The P for price. What are you going to create? Are you going to create seasonal rates? Are you going to create categories? You have to justify this, of course, with the demand of the competition, like you've done in part 1.1. About 2 paragraphs in the report is a good idea. In the business plan and in the marketing and launching campaign part, it is essential that you have a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart tells you, prior to your opening, what are the different actions that you are taking and when you are taking them. The when is essential so that you can start figuring out how much money you will be spending before the opening to get people involved. It may be interesting, for example, if you know that there is a trade fair of tourism in a certain country that you think is perfect for your target market, you would know when you would be going by knowing the dates of when that will be taking place. And the Gantt chart can be transformed with financial numbers to get precise spending month by month prior to your opening.
So remember the important steps of a launch campaign. How you get your target market to understand that you are there. What are you going to do and how you're going to do it to be able to start your hotel with reservations. And very importantly, the code for your next assignment in Moodle is thanks. You can use this code to go into the next task.